Hi, this is week 6, IT 120 check-in. I'm not going to show you my face this time because I don't know. I just don't want to today. I will again before we're done. So a couple of things I want to go over. I just added a page and put it into the modules for tools for working together in groups. And I just wanted to note that you should look at this. Virtual group can be challenging, but it is possible. So there's a couple of things to know about group assignments. Only one person has to turn in the work because that one turn in covers everybody in the group. Everybody gets the same grade. I've added a work log to the assignment so that you can say who did what in the group. And if somebody doesn't participate, if they do nothing, I will remove them from the group at the end so they don't get the grade. Before it comes to that, though, I would prefer if you let me know early if somebody isn't participating so I can contact them and see what's going on. These are trying times for a lot of people, and we do want to give everybody a chance. So don't just exclude. Let me know if somebody's not participating so that I can get hold of them and make sure that they know what's going on. All right, so because only one person has to turn it in, you really only have to keep one active database, although it might be a good idea for your own use to build one on each machine. You can't really share the database, though you can share scripts. You can pass the SQL scripts back and forth, and people can update their databases with those. I will also show you in the next couple of days how to do a backup. So you can back up the whole database into an SQL script that you can run on the other machine. You can't, it's a little difficult to keep it just updating, though you might be able to. Sharing the scripts is probably the easiest way, just sharing the scripts as you do it. If you do want to share a single database, it's possible, but you will need to use a cloud service such as AWS, Azure, or Google, and PostgreSQL is on the free tier of those services, so it is possible, but there's a challenge in the setup and sharing the permissions. If you really want to work on that, you're welcome to try, but it isn't required at all. The first thing you should do with your group is contact everybody. Make sure you have their emails. You should be able to find each other through Canvas. If not, let me know. You should decide on what tools you want to use. So a couple of things. Google Docs works pretty good for sharing things. You also have Office 365 for free as long as you're a student. So it has Word and it has other things that you can use for sharing. It also has Microsoft Teams, which allows you to have video conferences and group chats and things like that. Slack is another tool that does similar things. Slack will also let you get together and do groups. Google also has a team meeting tool where you can video each other. And you can use Zoom, of course. Lucid Charts will allow you to group edit a diagram, and Draw.io may also allow you if you use the online version. And again, I would encourage using the discussion area to discuss what is and isn't working for your group and to compare notes with other groups. All right, and we'll make this work. It should be fun. Basically, what we're going to do in the group assignments is all the stuff that we did in the individual assignments, but with you guys being more on your own. So, couple of other things. I want to go over the normalization assignment. And I'm going to do that because most of you have turned it in. Most of you did a pretty good job. So I'm going to go down to the individual assignments, normalization. It has this list here. All right. So let me talk real quickly about the violations of normalization that you would see here, and then I will draw a diagram, which is probably going to be more complicated than what most of you did, because I'm going to show you some options. So here we have student IDs. We have their name, their email, their major. One of the things to note about majors is that Ali Jensen has two majors, web design and web development. Okay, so you can't have plurals. That's a violation of first normal form. Another one is that the courses are listed as a list. And again, that is not allowed. So that's another violation of first normal form. So there's two violations of first normal form. The major and then the courses. There's also a grade in there. And this is actually kind of a violation too, in the sense that you aren't supposed to have two different kinds of data in the same column. A course is not the same as a grade. All right, so that's first normal form. Second normal form, we have one major violation. Department building, department room. That's what they call a functional dependency. It's a subgroup. It's three things that don't relate to the student but relate to department. Right? So that is a violation of the second normal form. This is what a functional dependency looks like. It's a subgroup that's not directly related to the main group. Finally, there's a violation of third normal form, which is that the advisor phone relates to advisor and not to the student, right? So this is modifying the advisor, not the student. All right, so I am going to pull this over to another window here so I have it. And then I'm going to go to Lucid Charts. All right. And what we'll do is we'll make the thing. So we want a student, right? We want a student entity. So I will do this as student. And the student will have a student ID, which will be the primary key. They'll have a name, and you could break this into first and last name. I would do that in real life, but I'm not going to do it right here. They have an email. Okay, so we're going to leave that. We might modify this a little bit more, but one of the violations of first normal form was the major. So we're going to do a major. There will be a primary key and a foreign key. I'm not a foreign key. Major ID. Major name. And I think we're going to do a department. Which will be a foreign key. The thing is, majors belong to departments. So I'm going to add in a department here. And we'll do a primary key department ID. So this one was the second. The second of normal form violation. So I'm going to do department building, and we'll add one here. Get rid of that if I can. And department room. All right, and I'm going to expand that a little bit. These can go away. So, if we're going to do a relationship here, one department has many majors, okay? Now, in terms of the relation to student, if a student can only have one major, then you can say one major has many students. If one student can have more than one major, like we have with web design and web development, you have to create a linking table. So I'll do this. and we'll call it student major. Right? And we'll do the student ID and the major ID. And this, if we can do this as a composite key, we don't have to, but you can. There's not two primary keys. There's one primary key with two parts. All right, so one student can have many majors. One major can have many students. There we go. So we've handled the department, the second one. We've got the majors, we've got the student majors. We also need to think of the other violation of the first normal form was courses, right? And the grades. And having that actually will bring out most of what we need. So I'm going to bring in an advisor. So we need to do advisors. Actually, so an advisor is also I'm just going to do advisor, and we'll do a PK, and we'll do an advisor ID, and we'll do advisor name and advisor phone. All right, so we're going to just say I just want to add one to the bottom. We're going to add an advisor. We're going to say that every student only has one advisor. That may or may not be true. And how you have, if it isn't true, then you have to create a linking table like this one. Right? If it is true, then you can just do this. If there's only one advisor per student, then you say one advisor can have many students. I'm going to move this down here and this down here because I'm going to put the courses up here. So I am going to do a course. And I'm going to do a course ID. Now, we do not have, I'm going to do the course number, course name. These are not in the thing I gave you. The course number is, but not the others. Courses belong to departments. So if you wanted to, you could also add department ID. As a foreign key. Okay, all of this is pretty much extra, but you do need to break out courses because we had a list of them and that violates the thing. We also need to attach the student and the grade. And so what I would do, I'm going to create an entity that I will call, I like to call it roster, but you could call it something else. We could call it section. And I'm going to do, we'll make a separate section ID. And that'll be a primary key. And we will do a course ID. And we will do a student ID. So these are both foreign keys. And then lastly, we will do the grade. So put this down there and I will say the grade for this section. And this will not be a key. All right, so student obviously will hook to the student ID and the course will hook to the course ID. And that is our normalized version of that table. Let me bring the table back just for a moment. All right, so we have accounted for, oh, I just killed it. I think I just killed it. No. All right, we have accounted for the departments, which had to be a new group. We've accounted for the major, allowing for multiple majors. We've accounted for the courses and the grades, and we've accounted for the advisor. Basically, with normalization, the result of every violation is probably another entity or two. I hope this helps that. Most of you were pretty close to this. You had a few differences, and I was very lenient on this because it's a very complicated thing. But this is what I would do at the end. It could be more complicated than this in the end because there are other factors that could come in, but this is a pretty good normalization of it. All right, I am going to kill the video.